Hi everyone, my name is Christy and welcome to my Trying a New Makeup Product Everyday series. Today I'm so excited to try out another $1 makeup product from ShopMissA, and this here is the AOA Studio Orbit Eyeshadow Quad, which looks awesome. It looks so promising. I love trying out AOA Studio products because this brand makes such high quality products at the most amazing price points, and they are non-toxic, vegan, and cruelty-free. And this comes in 4 different color versions. This one is Mercury, so they're all inspired by planets. This one, of course, is definitely my comfort zone, more of the neutral shades, and I love to have light tones and dark tones because I'm all about playing up the different contours and dimensions of the eye. I've always been into trying out dollar store, $1 makeup products, but I feel like these days I'm even more interested in trying out the most inexpensive products and finding what's actually good. And it's hard to find $1 products left these days, but the ShopMissA website is still a great place to find those deals. And so let's jump in with some swatches. Not the most like buttery feel, a little bit dry, maybe not looking super pigmented, but swatches do not always tell the whole story. I'm also noticing a slightly difference in texture, like the brown metallic didn't seem very buttery, but this one, the more rosy metallic, feels much more buttery. And this is 3 shimmery metallic shades and then the 1 matte shade. Ooh. Okay, these actually look very nice. For some reason, the brown metallic isn't quite as pigmented and impressive of a swatch as the other ones are, but these look really nice. And keeping in mind, 4 eyeshadows for $1, like I'm thinking about these compared to all eyeshadows and I'm impressed. I really love these colors. And so just like always, I am going in with the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion on just one of my eyes because I love to test out eyeshadows with and without an eyeshadow primer. And we'll see if this makes any difference. So just applying it all over my lid. Lash line to brow bone because we do have a nice brow bone highlight shade that I can start with. And so just with my finger, I'm going to pick up the lightest shade, which this one I think is a little bit more like of a pearl finish than a metallic finish like the other 2. But I love when my eyeshadows come with a shade that I can use for highlight, and this seems like a perfect highlight shade. It's light, and then it still has some shine, some reflection. I mean, it's not the most like eye-catching highlight, but it definitely works. Let's see if it's bright enough for this inner corner. Very subtle, but that is okay. You know what? This might actually be dull enough to use to set all over the lid. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick up a fluffy brush. And I also like to use a light white tone to set my lids if I have one in the palette. And I think this one will work because it's not too sparkly or shimmery. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely coming off kind of sheer. It's not really canceling out discoloration in my lid or anything. If anything, it's giving a little bit of glow, but yeah, like it's gonna show up more if I apply with my finger for the highlight area, but this can work fine for just setting the lid so that other shades can blend on top of it. But all in all, I'm not too impressed by this. Like the most subtle highlight, but hey, it's there. Next, I'm going to build up the crease and then the transition area right below the brow highlight, and I'm going to pick up the more brown shimmer. Like there's no kickback in this shade, which I think you do want to see a little kickback because then it's probably going to have a little bit more pigment, blend easier. But I'm trying to pick up a lot to apply here. And it's not very pigmented, but it is leaving behind a little bit of sheen. Picking up even more. Like it's definitely more sheer shade, but it does have a pretty shiny metallic finish, which is gonna kind of help add a little bit more shine to the brow bone area too, since the highlight shade didn't give that much of it. It's also, unfortunately, looking a little dry and textured on the eye. It's like creating the look of dry skin, which is not a very flattering look. So I'm not having the most luck with these shades so far. Like from a distance, it looks fine. But up close, I feel like you can just tell that it's not like very nice eyeshadow formula. I guess I'm kind of going in a full circle here because next I'm going to try picking up the matte shade. Not too much kickback in that shade either. But hopefully this is dark enough to show up and be able to give some more dimension to the eye. Yeah, maybe I should take some of this into the crease because this one's actually showing up pretty nicely. I like to put a darker shade in the outer corner to add more dimension to the eye, and this shade is actually looking perfect for that. It's showing up with enough pigment. It's blending out. So throwing some of this into the crease is actually really helping to give more definition to the eye. And this is the only matte shade. And since I'm not too impressed by the shine or the shimmer from the other shades, this one I think is looking the best with the matte finish and the amount of pigment that this one has. Some of the other colors that this comes in have more matte shades, and I'm thinking the matte colors are the best in these eyeshadow palettes. So maybe I'd prefer one of the more matte palettes, because I feel like this matte color is really saving the look. Because with that matte brown being able to give such contour and dimension and more of like a glammed up effect to the eye, now the rest of the lid doesn't really matter too much if it's sheer, not that pigmented. But let's find out. I am going to pick up the last shade here with my finger, and it does look lighter than how it looks in the pan here. But I'm just going to go ahead and apply this to the rest of the lid. Wow. Usually the metallic shades are more pigmented, easier to work with in a palette, but in this case, I definitely think the matte is the easiest to work with and the most pigmented. Like this one, it's showing up once again with shine, but not too much color. But I mean, it works fine with that matte shade, giving more of that color and definition. So how this all is coming together actually is looking really nice, because the other shimmer shades are looking more subtle. So it's giving more of a soft glam look, which I really like. It's just that the texture of the metallics is not my favorite. It's just not the smoothest texture, if that makes sense. I'm definitely applying a lot, trying to layer this up, and it is looking more bright, giving some sparkle shimmer to the eye. But it's like a powdery, more dry finish if you look more up close. And then I think to finish off the look on the lower lash line, I am going to use the smaller end of my brush and go back in with that brown, since that was my favorite shade in the palette, and have this be the lower lash line, liner, kind of diffuse this. And that's really pretty. It's such a pretty shade of brown, almost like a maroon brown, which is very flattering to the eye. And it gives emphasis, but it's not too dark. I really like that on the lower lash line. Oh my gosh, this eyeshadow look actually came together really nicely. The finished color and dimension and look of it, I really like. Like, I want to recreate this with shades that are just a little bit more smooth, I guess. But from a distance, I feel like, and in photos, this could look really pretty. And keeping in mind it was only $1, this finished look is actually very nice. And I'm also kind of surprised that the eye with the primer versus the eye without it, there's really no visible difference. So all in all, this worked out, but I'm just not so obsessed with the formula. I'm not so impressed that I would purchase this in any other of the colorways. However, if you have tried out any of the other color versions of the AOA Studio Orbit eyeshadow quads, let me know how those were in the comments down below. But thank you so much for watching my video today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so you can see the makeup that I try every day. And I will see you tomorrow in my next video.